There's been some huge changes in the mortgage and real estate world. Our government has stepped in again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Love
please, may I have another, please? And they have totally changed our disclosure process from the mortgage side, which has affected how closings happen. And, how do you see that affecting you when you're advising your customers on their transactions? And we call it TRID, by the way, if anyone wants to know the term. TRID, don't ask me what it stands for because we don't really care. It's just they've TRIDed us.
Yes, they TRIDed you. It's really about disclosing numbers. So what the consumer doesn't realize is, number one, you need a great escrow company. You don't typically, the consumer, know escrow ABC from DFG, but your professional better know that they're working with an amazing escrow company because they're the ones that are going to disclose the numbers. Number two, your professional, as myself, your realtor, must make sure that I also advise you initially. You get all your paperwork in so that everybody has your address, contact information. All of these things can delay the process. And a big part of that as well is when you get into contract, not just your personal information, but when do you do your home inspection? When is the appraisal being ordered? Because the appraisal, unless you, Tom, are paying for it, and it just comes in their upfront fee so that you don't have to wait for all the other information to come in. There's so many tips and tricks. So you got to talk to Tom about this. This is too big of a discussion. But all of these things will take time. So if you're trying to close in 30, and then you do your inspection incredibly late in the process, and then you want to do a request for repair or credit, money off of the purchase price because you want a discount, all of those things are going to be updated by escrow, and escrow is going to have to delay the transaction by 7 to 10 days.
Potentially.
Potentially. And then the same thing with having the appraisal done. Depending on when the appraisal is done, wait for it to come in. Is there discretion with value? What do you have to go through? All these things need to be done immediately. So what the consumer needs to understand is your professional must re-navigate you compared to how they used to before TRID took effect, and make sure that everything that you do is done in the beginning. And that once we get everything done in the beginning, then we can start negotiating. So if we're negotiating 2.5 weeks into the process, you still have time to close.
Right. Yeah, and I will tell you, as a lender, I'm with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and we like to say, or I like to say, we take the TRID out of TRID because there are so many gotchas that you can get caught on in that process. Many companies, lenders I know of, decided to implement the changes that we've known about for a year or year and a half, 2 years that they were coming in the last couple of months. We as a company invested millions and spent a year and a half putting together our process to handle TRID.